There comes a moment in life when everything feels like it is finally moving in your favor and you begin to believe that the future is opening its doors for you. Then suddenly life stops you with a sharp and unexpected no. The shock is immediate and strangely quiet, as if someone pressed pause on your entire world without warning. You stand there trying to understand how something that looks so promising could disappear in a single heartbeat. That kind of rejection hits deeper than most people admit, because it is not just the loss of an opportunity, but the sudden collapse of the hope you were holding so tightly. It leaves you confused, disappointed, and unsure of what you are supposed to feel next. After the initial impact, your mind begins to search for explanations that refuse to appear. You question your choices, your effort, your timing, and eventually yourself. Doubt slips into your thoughts like a slow-moving fog, making everything harder to see clearly. You start wondering if you misunderstood the signs or if you overestimated your place in the world. Sometimes you even convince yourself that you expected too much, even when deep down you know you worked honestly for what you wanted. That is the danger of an unexpected no. It tricks you into thinking that the rejection is a reflection of your worth, rather than what it truly is, which is simply a moment that did not unfold the way you imagined. As more time passes, something in you begins to shift. You start noticing that the no is not only a stop, but also a push. It forces you to look at yourself more honestly, to see what you have been ignoring, and to acknowledge the areas where you still need to grow. It challenges you in ways that comfort never could. You begin to realize that if everything had worked out easily, you would not have gained the strength, clarity, or resilience that this moment is trying to teach you. The rejection hurts, but within the pain there is a subtle transformation happening. One that slowly turns disappointment into a deeper understanding of who you are, and who you need to become. And if you are standing in this moment right now, trying to understand why life stopped you, remember that a no is not the end of your story. It is not a wall unless you choose to treat it like one. Sometimes it is protection from something you were never meant to force. Sometimes it is a correction that nudges you toward a better direction. And sometimes it is simply not your moment yet. You are not finished and you are not failing. You are being redirected towards something that fits the person you are becoming. Keep moving forward, because the no that breaks you today may be the reason you find the life that truly belongs to you tomorrow. There are moments when the truth of a situation hits harder than the initial disappointment itself. After hearing life's no, you begin to realize that the world is not shaped by your plans alone. Reality steps in with a weight that feels heavier than you expected, showing you that effort does not always lead to immediate results. This realization stings because you believed you were close. You believed you had done enough, and you believed the timing was finally on your side. But when reality pushes back, it forces you to confront the gap between expectation and what truly happened. And that gap is where frustration and disbelief often collide. It is in that collision that you feel the sharpest version of the truth. The one that tells you the world is not always gentle even when your intentions are. When the truth sinks deeper, you begin to feel a mix of confusion and exhaustion that is difficult to explain to anyone else. You replay your journey, thinking about every step you took, wondering which one failed to matter. You look at other people who seem to move forward easily, and you question why your road had to be the one full of stops and detours. You wonder whether life is trying to test you or simply trying to break your spirit. In that emotional heaviness, you feel yourself pulled between wanting to try again and wanting to give up altogether. It is a quiet war inside you, one that no one sees but consumes a large part of your energy. And in that struggle, you begin to understand that sometimes the hardest part of failure is not the fall itself, but the silence that follows it. Time eventually forces you to face yourself in a different way. The longer you sit with disappointment, the clearer it becomes that you cannot stay stuck in the moment where things went wrong. You start questioning not just the situation, but your relationship with adversity. You ask yourself whether you only believed in your dream when it was easy, or whether you are willing to believe in it even when the world does not. This reflection is uncomfortable, yet it is the beginning of inner growth. You start noticing that the pain is teaching you patience, humility, and a strength you never asked for but desperately need. And slowly you begin to accept that reality is not your enemy. It is the teacher that forces you to grow beyond your comfort. And if you are facing this kind of truth right now, remember that reality hitting hard does not mean you are meant to stop. It means you are being asked to shift. to adjust, to toughen your heart in ways that prepare you for the next door that will open. You are not losing the life you want. You are being prepared for the version of it that requires a stronger version of you. Do not let a difficult truth convince you to walk away from what matters. Stand in it, understand it, and use it as the backbone of your next move. The strength you build here will become the reason you rise higher than the place where you were denied. Asterisk. There is a different kind of heaviness that settles in after rejection. A weight that follows you even when you try to move on. It sits quietly on your shoulders, reminding you of the moment things slipped out of your control. You do not choose to carry it, but you feel responsible for it, as if the no you heard somehow defined your place in the world. That weight affects the way you walk, the way you think, and the way you see yourself. You start doubting your steps as if every move you make might lead to another disappointment. And even though you try to hide it, the weight becomes a silent companion, shaping your moods, your decisions, and the way you approach your dreams. As days pass, the weight does not disappear simply because time moves forward. Sometimes it even grows, fed by overthinking and the fear that the same rejection might repeat itself. Every time you try to take a step forward, the memory of the no appears in your mind, pulling you back with the uncertainty of what might happen next. You begin to walk more carefully, not because you lack courage, but because you are tired of crashing into walls you never saw coming. You want to be brave, but you also want to protect yourself from another wound. The tension between hope and fear becomes part of your daily rhythm. And some days it feels like you are fighting a battle no one knows you are fighting. But slowly, as you keep moving through the heaviness, something inside you begins to shift. You notice that the weight you carry is not just pain. It is also the proof that you care deeply about something important. It shows that you dared to want something enough to hurt when it slipped away. And that realization sparks a quiet strength in you, a strength you did not have before the rejection. You begin to understand that being weighed down is not the same as being stopped. The weight you carry can become a reminder of your resilience, a sign that even though life tried to push you back, you refuse to collapse. Pain shapes you, but it does not get the final say unless you surrender to it. And if you still feel that heaviness right now, know that it will not last forever. As you grow, the weight will transform. What once felt like a burden will become the foundation of your strength. What once held you down will become the reason you rise with more determination than before. You will look back one day and realize that the weight you carried after hearing no was not meant to break you, but to build you into someone who can handle the life you are meant to live. Keep moving, even slowly, because every step you take is loosening the grip of that weight and bringing you closer to the moment, where it all finally makes sense. There comes a specific moment after disappointment when something inside you refuses to stay down any longer. It does not happen loudly or suddenly, but quietly, almost like a small spark returning after being dim for too long. You begin to feel a subtle shift, a reminder that even if life has pushed you back, you are still here, still breathing, still capable of rising. This moment is fragile because it is built from pieces of courage that were once broken, yet it carries the power to change everything. You realize that standing back up does not require everything to be perfect. It only requires you to try again even when your heart is still bruised. And in that simple decision to rise, you start reclaiming strength you thought you had lost. As that spark grows, you start seeing the situation differently. The rejection that once felt like a dead end begins to look more like a turning point. You begin noticing the lessons hidden beneath the pain, the wisdom that disappointment was quietly shaping inside you. You understand that rising is not about pretending the hurt never happened, but about refusing to let it define who you become. You acknowledge that the world did not go the way you hoped, yet somehow you survived it, and that survival is not something small. It shows you that you are stronger than the moment that tried to break you. And that strength becomes the fuel that pushes you one step forward. Then another. The more you rise, the more you begin to trust yourself again. You reclaim your ambition, your confidence, and your belief in the possibility of something better. You stop seeing yourself as the person who was denied and start seeing yourself as someone who is evolving. The path ahead may still feel uncertain, but uncertainty is no longer a threat. It becomes a part of the journey you are willing to walk. You understand that setbacks do not erase your potential. They refine it. They sharpen your focus, deepen your character, and prepare you for moments that require more maturity than you had before. You start to realize that the no you received was not the end of your story, but the beginning of a stronger version of you. And if you are rising right now, even slowly, know that this moment matters more than you think. Standing back up after being pushed down is one of the hardest things a person can do, and yet here you are doing it. You may still feel fear, doubt, or exhaustion, but none of those feelings erase the fact that you are moving again. Every small step is proof that hope is returning, and every decision to continue is shaping a future far better than the one you thought you lost. You are not the same person who was rejected. You are the person who rose again, and that alone makes you unstoppable in ways you will only understand later. There comes a point after the shock of rejection fades when you begin to understand that life is not just about accepting what happens to you, but about choosing how you respond to it. This realization does not arrive in a dramatic moment. It arrives slowly, through the small thoughts that whisper you still have something left inside you. You begin to sense that giving up would only make the no permanent, while pushing back would give you a chance to shape a different outcome. It is here, in this quiet turning point, that you start to see the difference between someone who gets stopped and someone who gets stronger. You recognize that you cannot control everything life throws at you, but you can control whether or not you rise to face it. And in that choice, a new kind of strength begins to form within you. As you sit with this realization, your understanding of the no starts to shift. You begin to see that it wasn't the universe shutting you out, but a challenge asking whether your desire was real or merely convenient. You think about everything you have gone through, the weight you carried, the doubts you fought, and it becomes clear that something in you has survived every hit so far. That survivor in you refuses to let a single rejection become the end of your story. You start questioning not what you lost, but what you still have. You have breath, you have will, you have the ability to start again with more wisdom than before. And slowly you feel a determination growing, telling you that the only way forward is to push back against the very thing that tried to stop you. The more you reflect on your journey, the clearer it becomes that pushing back is not about forcing life to obey you, but about proving to yourself that you are not defined by circumstances. You understand that strength is not built in comfort. It is built in resistance, in every moment where you refuse to surrender. You remember times when you survived worse pain than this. Times when you thought you were finished but still found a way to keep going. These memories rise like anchors, pulling you back into yourself, reminding you that you have always been capable of more than you believed. And with that awareness, a kind of courage appears, quiet, steady, and fierce enough to make you want to rise again, even if the path ahead still feels uncertain. And if you are standing in this moment now, deciding whether to push back or walk away, understand that this is the moment that shapes the rest of your story. The world may have told you no, but that does not mean you have to echo it. You have every right to push back, to try again, to rebuild, and to chase what matters to you with even more clarity. Strength is not the absence of doubt. It is the decision to move forward anyway. Every step you take from this moment is rewriting the narrative that life tried to hand you. You are no longer the person who was stopped. You are the person who is starting to fight again. There comes a moment when you begin to realize that moving forward is not just something you want to do, but something you must do if you want your life to expand beyond the limits of your past. You understand that stopping here would trap you in the memory of the no you heard, making it a permanent part of your identity instead of just a temporary event. You start to see that life will never hand you clarity before you begin. Clarity is something you earn through motion, through struggle, through the willingness to continue even when the outcome is uncertain. And slowly, you recognize that your purpose is bigger than the pain you experienced, and that the only way to honor your own potential is to keep walking toward the version of yourself you can become. As you move deeper into this understanding, you begin to reflect on how far you have already come. You think about the moments you nearly broke but somehow held on, the nights you questioned everything yet still woke up the next day trying again. Those memories become proof that you are built for endurance, not collapse. You start to see that every challenge you faced has shaped your character, sharpened your resilience, and taught you lessons that comfort could never teach. And even if you still feel pain or fear, you realize those feelings are not signs to stop, but signs that something inside you still cares enough to fight. That realization alone carries a power strong enough to pull you back onto your feet. The more you reflect, the clearer it becomes that the world is not testing you to break you, but to refine you. You understand now that growth requires pressure, and that purpose is revealed not in moments of ease, but in the moments when you choose to continue. You start recognizing that even the no you received holds value because it forced you to look inward, to rebuild your strength, and to redefine what truly matters. You begin to see that every step forward from here is a declaration that you refuse to be limited by temporary setbacks. And in that decision, you uncover a deeper part of yourself, a part that believes in your future even when your present feels difficult. And if you are standing in this moment, wondering whether your effort still matters, know that every step you take is shaping a life that deserves to exist. You must keep going because your story is not finished, and because there are paths ahead of you that you have not yet seen. You must keep going because the version of you 5 years from now is begging you not to stop here. You must keep going because the world becomes a different place when you refuse to surrender to circumstances. And above all, you must keep going because your life expands in proportion to your courage. And right now, you are building more courage than you have ever had before.